Our first week of shooting was very fun, very intimidating in its own ways, but also we had one of the coolest days of filming on our second day of production, and that day was our first helicopter day. So day 2, we're already flying in helicopters, and it was a dang cool helicopter, if I might say. This thing was a huge transport helicopter the military used to use, and we got a hold of one. So the entire day consisted of us hanging out at this super cool huge hangar and having this great huge helicopter coming down and land and do stunts for us. And we even wrapped the entire day up with a really sweet sequence of a giant line of soldiers all heading up into the transport chopper and taking off into the night skies.
And the helicopter pilot was actually a pretty nice guy, and we wanted to get a drone shot of the helicopter as it was taking off. So we talked, and he made sure the drone wouldn't hit the blades. But oddly enough, you might think that a helicopter would blow away a drone, but rather it actually sucks it in towards the blades. It pulls the air in to push downwards. Mm-hmm. So it was interesting constantly having the drone be backed out from the helicopter so we could get our shot.
Exactly. Yeah, the pilot was really cool. His name was Nick McMahon, and Nick was a very good seasoned pilot. To the point where he would even surprise me every once in a while with I'd say, "Oh, can you do this?" He'd "Yeah, I can do it." And then he'd be flying in the air. We'd be on the radio saying, "Hey, do a stunt," or do this, or dive. And he'd be like, "Got it." And then you'd see him start diving. You're like, "Oh shit! Oh my god, he's gonna crash! Oh god, he's." And then we lose sight. He goes behind the trees, and we're like the first time he did it, I was totally expecting a smoke cloud to just start rising up on the horizon because it looked like he had crashed. It looked great. But then suddenly comes out the other side, all good. And he did it all day.
Yeah, not to mention we had a different helicopter, almost kind of a new style helicopter. At the end, it's a personal transport helicopter. And we had to do a scene where it landed in this courtyard with a tank and a whole bunch of guys. And that's actually kind of one of my proudest moments on set, was coordinating 20 extras and a squad of 5 guys and a tank and a landing helicopter and 8 more guys running in front of the camera to all happen at the same time. It's to have 60 people, not 60, to have 30 to 40 people in motion along with this helicopter landing and not having anybody's heads get chopped off by the spinning blades. To have it all work out on the first try, we did one take and we nailed it in the first take. That was a good feeling for me.
Good feelings.
Good feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we got to take that chopper up, have a guy in the doorway with a giant machine gun, filming over his shoulder with the camera as he chased an ATV down the street. And the helicopter's flying sideways so you can get the shot of the guy shooting out the door. That was really fun.
Yeah, there's some really cool maneuvers we were pulling with the helicopter that day just because there's a lot of interesting flight paths and, just the fact that we had a guy hanging out the side with a giant machine gun, it was really cool.
And it was also cold out, so the wind chill for the guy hanging out the door of the helicopter was a little chilly.
All the stunts we were talking about, it was one of the coldest days on the set, too. He's diving and flying around the air, and he's just sitting out there freezing. He'd come back, and he's full of icicles and everything. It was pretty much that.
About as close to the experience as you can get.
2 times on this movie, I got to fly in a helicopter. This one was a lot more fun. Oh, it was really cold though.
I remember with the helicopter we had in the first week, we had just started working with Nils, the stunt guys, and they're like, if you guys can do anything, if you're gonna drop to your knees or gonna fall over, we need to be present. We're like, okay. And the helicopter's there. We have 8 takeoffs. We have 8 engine starts in our budget for the helicopter. And so we only used 2 of them. We're halfway through the day, and we're like, you know what? We should do the shot of all these guys getting in the helicopter. We should do it with the blades spinning and then have it take off in the shot. That'd look really cool. We're like, yeah. And then Adrian's like, we have these matte boxes on the front of the cameras, and Adrian's going, the wind might catch the matte boxes and throw the cameras around. We're like, yeah, that's a good point. We don't really know what it's like. I've never stood under a chopper while it takes off before. And so we're like, well, Mr. Pilot, can you take the helicopter off with us standing under it so we can see what it's like? And he's like, yeah. And so Sam and I are going out there, we tell the whole crew, it's we got 5 minutes before we're going to take the helicopter off so everybody can see what it's going to actually be like before we do it. So we get out there, we're holding the cameras, and we're about 30 seconds away, and then I feel a hand on my back, and it's Nils, the stunt coordinator, being like, this is the part where we're supposed to be present when you're under a helicopter while it takes off. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it wasn't as big of a deal. It wasn't as windy as I actually thought it would be.
But it was still
It's still
incredibly
really
powerful.
cool. We had the actors standing there and talk to each other and do the scenes so they could see the volume they needed to be at, so it would sound normal when they recorded the scene without the helicopter.
Well, we
blades.
did it with the actual blade spinning. Yeah, we actually did a take where they were there and the helicopter was still idling. But it was really nice shooting that because we actually got to be right underneath the helicopter as it's taking off, and you feel like the wind just like pressing you down. You realize how powerful they are at that moment. It's really cool.
Adrian's gonna fly around and try to get the horizon all shifting so we can get really dynamic shots looking like the guy's piloting as hard as he can to dodge this missile. Hopefully the footage turns out good. Hopefully Adrian doesn't like crash and bang into the joystick causing the helicopter to crash. It's the risks of the job, you know?
Yeah. It was the tape. What do you know?
Thanks to our BTS guy for loaning us all our GoPros. You're the best, Mr. BTS guy. I'm actually looking at his eyes right now. This isn't his eyes, that's just a camera.
That was our first time using a helicopter for real in a shot.
We got the helicopter mount for the GoPro. So
The
you
helicopter
take
mounts.
the GoPro and it's a big helicopter with a little like clip to the GoPro.
And you put your GoPro on the helicopter and flies around the GoPro for you. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Honestly, I'm really surprised none of the GoPros fell off. We were just using the little suction mounts with some tape. I mean, the footage is probably wobbly as heck, but I mean, we got the shot, so sweet. Time to get more.